And as an example, I'll be working all week and, you know, trying to get things done, and then I'm pushing myself, and then just say, there's some things that I didn't get accomplished. And then Saturday comes, and then you think, okay, well, I'm going to Disney World or wherever you're going with your family. And I don't know about you, but there's times where you're like, oh, man, I shouldn't have gone to Disney World. I shouldn't be here right now. I should be on my computer. I could have had this done. I would have, could have, should have. Well, if you can find different ways to manage your time, you know, more efficiently, then when you are, you know, out with your family or doing things that you enjoy, you won't be thinking about, your mind will be clear, and then you can kind of actually live in that moment. And that's really hard for a lot of people to do, including myself. It's very difficult to live in the moment when you're doing something because you're so busy thinking about the things that you could have done, would have, could have, should have, or you're about to do when you get home from that particular activity. So if you can focus on becoming more efficient with some of your time management, I can assure you that your head will be clear, and then when you are, you know, at a fun activity or doing something on the weekend or whatever it is that you're doing, you're really going to enjoy it more because then you'll have a very clear mind. All right, think about what you are giving up to do your regular activities, and that, like I said, that just kind of goes back to what I was saying, is if you can start implementing some of these different strategies within your own business, then you can, you can think about what you are giving up, and then you can go back to doing some of these activities, therefore not having to worry about, you know, what you should be doing when you can kind of live in the moment. And then identifying the bad habits, and that's what I had mentioned a couple of slides ago, was trying to figure out what it is that's preventing you from, you know, being more efficient at what you do in your business. And, you know, the easy answer is, of course, we can farm out the work, we can, you know, hire more people or whatever, but in that, if you're not to that point, if you can't get to that point, or you just don't feel that there's a need, you can just go back and look and think of different ways that you can determine what is a bad habit versus what is, you know, and replace it with a good habit. All right, I have a couple different, you know, sayings here, or that this is an American screen actor. His name is Charles Bixton, and when I saw this, I thought, wow, this really was kind of profound to me. Let me go ahead and read it. It says, Charles Bixton said, "You will never find time for anything. If you want time, you must make it. If you feel like you don't have enough time to do something you want to do, you have to learn how to make time for it, even if that means delaying or eliminating other less important items from your schedule. You can't get more time, but you can always change the way you use the time you already have. While we may never have enough time to do everything, we do have enough time to do the most important things. And it all comes down to how we choose to use our time." And the reason why I thought that was really profound in my mind was because you're right. Like, it doesn't matter who we are. We all have the same amount of time that's been given to us. So you hear people say that all the time. I don't have enough time. I can't do this. I can't make time. Well, it's not that you can't make time. It's because you're choosing not to make time. So if you can choose to make the time, that's the hard part, I guess. You know, I mean, we could sit here all day and talk about all these things that you probably already know, but the next step is you choosing to say, okay, I'm going to make this time, and because it's this important. And this is important not only to me, this might be important to my family, this is important to my career, whatever it is. I mean, you deserve that at the end of the day, so that's what I want you to walk away from here, is saying, okay, where do I get started? How can I preserve the time that I have? You know, I only have X amount of time in the day, and how am I going to use it, and then being able to use it wisely. And then also here's another quote, and her name is Catherine, and she says, "We need to maintain a proper balance in our life by allocating the time we have. There are occasions where saying no is the best time management practice there is." And that kind of goes back to the whole, you know, oh my gosh, if I say no, then I'm a failure, or I'm weak, or whatever, you know, all these negative adjectives. But really we're not. You're a leader by being able to look at what you have that's on your plate and saying, hey, you know what, I can't get to that. And like I said, the first time that you say it, it can be kind of stressful. I mean, I remember telling Sam that once, and that was really hard for me to do. He wanted me to work on a project, and I just said, Dan, you know, I'm really sorry. I cannot complete this project. I can't even work on this project right now because of my workload. And he respected that and said, okay, well, either we can table this and have you come back to it, or I can give it to another staff member to start working on it. But he understood because he respected me enough to say, to believe, hey, you know what, if this was too much, she was, going to throw it out there and tell me that she couldn't handle it. But that doesn't make you a weak person. That actually makes you more of a leader to say that, hey, I just can't get to it. All right, now, the last thing that I wanted to mention is that in regards to this training material, I contacted this company called, I think it's pronounced Ethics Software, and what they are is a time management, they've created time management software. Now, I'm sure it's very good, and I don't really know all that much about the company. I did contact the president because I used some of his training on these slides, and I definitely, think it's important if you're going to use somebody else's content to make sure that you get permission first. So I got permission from the president, and he said, please, by all means, share this with your students. And this company apparently has software that you can, load on your computer, and it helps you to manage your time. And I believe maybe it's similar to like a calendar of some sort. But I didn't really look into it too much because when I looked back on some of these slides, I realized that, yeah, you could probably, purchase time management software, and that would be great. But I guess would be even greater is if you used it. And it all comes down to choice and what you're choosing to do. But there are plenty of things that I went over in this presentation that you can just start implementing right away that will help you to make your time more efficient. All right, I'm just going to double check here to make sure that we don't have any questions. And like I said, this training webinar is going to be rendered. I'll render this as soon as I get off this call, and I'm going to post this back into the Wholesaling University website under the classroom section, so you'll have access to that probably later this evening if you'd like to go back and take a look at any of the slides. And then what I'll do also, because I do talk a little bit fast, a lot faster than Stan. See, Stan talks a lot, I talk fast. Do you see the difference? So, but for time management's sake, maybe that's not a bad thing. I will definitely include the PowerPoint presentation so you can take a look at the slides, and then I will also include some of the content that the president from that company, Ethics Software, sent to me, and he has some ebooks out and things like that. So when I post the video, right above it, I will also include a copy of my PowerPoint presentation and also the content that the president forwarded over to me so you can review that. It goes into a little more depth on how you can start implementing some of these different strategies within your own business to help you, become more efficient in your business. Let me see here. Let me just double check. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Yes, I did. I tried to cover. I didn't want to overwhelm everyone because I know there were just some certain things to touch on, and I knew that I wanted to kind of get you up and running right away so you could very quickly implement some of this within your own business or within your own life. And that was a message that I received from, let's see, let me go and open up my box, from Mel. Okay, thank you very much. We definitely did cover a lot of material in an effective manner. And let's see, thank you, message from Cheryl. Great time management info, thank you very much. And like I said, if there's anything that you guys, here's another thing that I wanted to mention now that I'm thinking of it. I will be doing some more different types of business classes. I do have my MBA, so of course Stan and JD and all of them, especially JD, he oversees the Wholesaling University, and he contacted me and said, hey, can you please do some live training for us on different various topics. It doesn't necessarily have to be in real estate, but it can be just business courses because that would be beneficial to our students, because they're running their own business, of course. So if you have certain topics that you're interested in and you would like me to, have different trainings in the future on business topics, please don't hesitate to contact me at Molly, that's M-O-L-L-Y, Molly at fortunebuilders.com, and I'll be more than happy to provide those trainings in the future. All right, I hope you guys have a great day and have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.